All right, I want to go over the demo reel stuff just so you can see that. If you get finished with your social awareness one, this is our last actual assignment. Wednesday when you come in, right away we're going to get started on the final exam. So make sure you're here, ready to go. I would turn your computer on the second you walk in so you can obviously start faster. And I would also recommend loading up Media Encoder so you don't have to wait a half hour for when you get to the end part of it. So the start of the demo reel is just to collect all your assets. Some things you will need to change. So like your title card, you'll need to update that so that it says demo reel, your name, last assignment. All your movies are fine for to add into it. Typically when you make a real demo reel, something you would show to the rest of the world, you'd want to actually grab your original After Effects files. Because what happens is you take your After Effects file you did before, you make that into a movie, then we add it to another demo reel and add that to another movie. It loses quality every single time we do that. So you always want to go with the highest quality one first and then downsize it. For this, I don't care. You can use your regular movies, you just need to adjust it some, okay? So I'm not going to go through the entire process because you should know how to do it based on what I say today. So I just have these placeholders, which are just images, just so we can see what they are. We should have a title card. That one you will need to import your actual title card into your scene and change it just like you've done before. You'll have your transitions that'll happen between each one of these. And then you'll have all your assignments, your text animation, your social awareness, your hologram, your tracking pieces, and then your Angry Birds one, okay? So what we would do is import all these into After Effects. I don't need the project file for this one, I only want that end movie. You would make a new composition, 960 by 540, 30, 20 is fine. Let's go with 50 here. Actually, let's go with 2 minutes. Better to have more and then we can just chop it down. So just like before, you'd add your title card. So you'd drop your actual title card down there. You would edit it just like normal. That animation would play, let's say, 5 seconds, and I'm just going to chop it there. Then you would have a transition, and then you would go into the next piece. I don't care what order you go with these. Just put them in whatever order you feel necessary. So the next one that we did was the text animators. So I would have my text animators here. I would have a transition between these two so they don't just jump like that, okay? Now, if I brought in my movie, so let me show the Angry Bird one here. If I bring in my movie for this, remember we have a title card on the beginning of each one of our movies. I don't want that title card showing before each assignment. I just want it to go from one assignment, transition, next assignment, transition, next assignment. So we would have to chop off any of that stuff. So I'm going to go here until this disappears. There it is. And then I will chop this like so. And then now it's basically going to start off. What was that?
What about the part with the transition?
Where it transitions?
Yeah.
Right. So how would we do a transition then if we needed to have more time on this for a transition?
Didn't some of us do transitions in our Angry Birds?
You did.
Yeah.
You would just chop off that transition right at the beginning.
Oh, just chop it out.
Yep. So it's gone.
Do you just want us to change the opacity on it and on the title on the card and then fade it in, or you want us to copy one of the original transitions?
You could make new transitions, or you can make transitions here, as long as they don't jump. Okay. So here's an example of another student's. So you'll see there's her title card, demo reel. She added these in so that you could see what the assignment was. And then you see her transition from one to the next. Here's her next one. Transition, next one. Transition, next one. So you can see how it just transitions from one to the next, to the next, to the next. That's why typically it's nicer to have the compositions in there, because obviously you can play with the compositions a lot more than you can if you just have the movies. coffee infographic we watched. And that was the last assignment. Okay, and then right at the end, another transition right at the end so it goes away. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward. You most likely will need to use some sort of timer mapping so that when you do the transition here, you're not transitioning into the middle of the animation of that, right? So I don't have like 12 seconds of this thing, or whatever, a second of this where it's moving, but my transition is happening. So you'll probably need to add in timer mapping under layer, under time. You'll need to add a keyframe here. You'll need to delete the first keyframe there. And then you can extend this backwards, and now you have more time to actually create that transition at the beginning of this. And then the same thing at the end. Here's where, in this case, it has some dead space. But if it didn't, I would be able to add another keyframe, delete this keyframe, extend my time, and then I could add my transition right there. Okay? So it should be pretty easy to take these and just go from one to the next to the next. It's the same thing we've been doing before on some of our assignments, like the video one with the tracking and like the text animators where we had several pieces, transitions between each one. You don't need to add a background track to this. This is not a demo reel you would typically take out and show the public. This is straight for class. If this was something for the public, we wouldn't show the entire piece here. We would show clippets of the pieces. We would find like the best 1 second and show that 1 second and then cut to the next piece. Yes, sir?
If we have the one for Brian's class done, do you want us to put that one in the folder possibly as well, or just focus on what we did for this class?
Just focus on what you did for this class, for this demo reel. If you want to throw that one in there too, that's fine. If you have multiple classes with me, some people have done where they've taken all 3 of their classes and made one big demo reel. I'm fine with that as well, okay, if you wanted to do that. Okay, any questions on that? It's pretty straightforward. Yes, sir?
What number is this assignment for, like, when we're changing our title card?
This should be number 8. Yep. Anything else?